Greetings, everyone. My name is Owen Cotter. You're here watching Sci Fiction. This is episode 67. If you're listening to this on Subspace Radio or iHeartRadio for the Sci Fiction Radio, today's guests, we have some amazing gentlemen, Juan and Tom from Mad Props Documentary. We got an amazing film. I'll let them tell about it here. So I believe we've got Juan on the horn here on the back burner and Tom, it looks like. Let's bring them on here.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
How's it going, Juan? How you doing today, sir?
I definitely dug that little explosive intro. It was very cool.
We got Tom on here. I see. I don't know if he can hear us. I can't see him. Can you hear us or see us, Tom? He might be joining here shortly. We got him on there. But how's your day going on?
Great. Very busy. Very busy. Yeah. Sorry.
We were busy. We were warp speeding. I had to run out and take care of an errand. I'm warp speeding it down here to be able to talk with you guys today about those awesome documentaries. So.
Yeah. And yeah. Speaking of the doc too, we have the we've been doing we got a whole bunch of publicity stuff going on at the same time, and then we have another project that's about to start shooting.
Oh, what's the other project? What's that about?
So there's it was just announced actually yesterday in Deadline. It's a film called Theirs. I wrote it and I'm producing it because I wrote it specifically with a female director in mind.
Okay.
So it's actually starring Harvey Keitel, Rita Moreno, Udo Kier, who is kind of horror legend.
Yes, that's where I'll not recognize that name from. Okay.
And Rosalind Sanchez, and then we got some other supporting people in the works too. But Harvey and Rita were like the legends, if you will, that are joining us. Tom,
very cool.
I think Tom is having a hard time.
If you can hear us, Tom, sign out and sign back in. It might be better because it looks like you're having a little connection issue or something's going on his end.
Yeah, he's actually the technically challenged one of the.
It's all good. It happens sometimes, man.
So the announcement just came out yesterday. So we're excited, and we're probably going to start pre-pro in May for a June shoot. So
now, where are you located exactly? LA or so? Where are you at?
So I was primarily in Brooklyn.
Okay.
I shoot all over the world, obviously, but I was born in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So, and even though I have family in New York, and there's always my home away from home anyway.
Oh, Tom's here. Here he is.
Hey, there's Tom.
I just went to my phone.
How's it going, sir? How's it going?
I'm doing great, man. Thanks for having us on.
No problem. We got all three of the trio here. I got some movie posters or something back there on the wall. What you got back there?
I'm a collector.
Oh, nice. Oh, wow. Heck yeah, dude.
Oklahoma movie posters.
Very cool.
You're looking at Spaceballs outfit.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I remember the Spaceballs. That's the Spaceballs thing he was referencing in the doc.
I love Spaceballs. They're great. We were talking about the other day, me and my buddy. It's awesome. Very cool. Well, you got Tom on the horn here. He does the hosting for the movie. How you got collecting? How did you all come about doing this film? Like, you up to all like wanting to do a film on collecting? What was like the main like powerful momentum to get it into motion?
Well, I knew Juan from before and was impressed. And I just woke up one morning. It was a Saturday after doing a big business deal, and sat down. I want to start doing more fun things in my life. So I wrote this TV show, props. And I did this because my entire life of all sorts of stuff, action figures, you name it, just mostly dumb stuff. But right. I'm a collector, and I started collecting movie props. Probably started with eBay and then the prop store. I'm sitting here going, I don't think people realize what a big deal this is. I don't think people realize the prices these pieces of art, what I consider them, are going for. And there's a worldwide market. And I knew about it because I've been competing in the auction for years. And I thought, you know what? This story needs to be told. And I always wanted to make a TV show out of it because the prices and the manner in which people find these items and then authenticate them and then ultimately display them or whatever, it's just fascinating. There's just so much to it, and there's so much out there.
Really is. It really is. We had Brandon Allinger from Propster on about a month or two ago. He was maybe a few months back. He was in a big auction down there, and he was kind of getting into how it all works. Like I think he got started going down to Tunisia looking for Star Wars stuff down there, and he found a few pieces down there, and he took it off after that. Juan, as your part being the director, being the producer of this thing, what would you like to see beyond like the next? Would you like to see a TV show as well? Or?
Oh no! I mean, that was like one of the main things I said to Tom too. Was like, if we're gonna do this, because originally he wanted to do the show, but I told him, it's like, dude, it's such an incestuous. Like the two worst things hardest things to get into in the industry is music and television.
For sure.
Unless you already have somebody you're connected to there, it's near impossible to get something going, right? Unless you're also already a name.
Right.
So I said, why don't we make a doc first and then use that as a way to pitch a show? And so now we do have some stuff in the works, actually. As a result of the documentary, we do have some solid interest now in the show. Nice. Awesome. So the goal, my hope, if all goes according to my plan, is that we will be shooting the first season of the TV show by the time the London auction comes around again in fall.
Oh wow, that's awesome! Wow,
that's my hope.
That's totally cool. So Tom, you've been collecting for a few years now props. What are some of the cool things you've gotten in your collection of your key items?
I would, people ask me that all the time because they're funny ones and then they're ones with real value. I would say the two most valuable ones are the Indiana Jones's whip from Part 2.
Oh, you got it. Oh, nice.
I do have that. And then Part 3, the Holy Grail. So those two things are probably the most, but then, it's the fun stuff like the ball gag from Pulp Fiction or Ivan Drago's boots from Rocky IV. I mean, all these movies mean something.
Right.
And, so those are probably the most valuable ones. I can't even pick one that I like the most. It's impossible.
I just kind of started collecting screen use props. I mean, I've collected replicas and high-end props and stuff, but some of the only screen use items I got, I think, are the Pirates of the Caribbean screen use coin. And one of those. I've got the I've got the blast. No, I've got the Morpher from Power Rangers, the one they had in the space one. It's just the hero one with like the light effects, and I've got a few other things. I know some headsets for different movies and blasters and Ferengi hand phaser from Star Trek TNG. I think it was.
Cool. Well, you have the same taste. And the funny thing is, what's great about this type of collection is that everybody appreciates it and knows it. It's just so recognizable and it evokes emotion as soon as they see it. Whereas you see really, but on this type of stuff, you're like, oh my gosh, it's the whip from Indiana Jones 2. So
right. It's like we went to we were talking about Propster earlier. We got one of their catalogs. We're flipping through it, and my buddy's like, "I want that lighter from Constantine." So every time I light my cigarettes, it's like, "What is that lighter?" It's the actual Uncannery from Constantine. I thought it was sick. So if y'all going to do the show, are y'all going to do different like themes? Like each show will be a different theme or different type of like. How would y'all go? What's the plot of that?
Well, I mean, the formatting of it is going to be a little different, obviously. Well, not obviously, but it will be a little different. And we're probably going to be bringing in an actual co-host, like a celebrity that's going to join the fray. Because then it's a nice little yin yang thing going with Tom and like a well-known face. But a nerd, just like Tom.
Gotta have that.
And me too. I'm a nerd too, but just not at that kind of nerd. And so it would kind of be similar in that sense, but it'd be a faster paced thing, and but we would still be all over the world and all that stuff as usual. Am I feeding back?
Somebody's feeding back. It's not me though.
Nope, I don't think so. You want me to mute I'm not hearing that one. Let me mute.
Oh, well, I don't hear it now either. Now it's gone. Sorry about that, guys. I have a professional mic and everything, so I don't know.
I get it.
So I mean, there'll be some differences and stuff. And the thing is too, is, when you're dealing with networks and streamers for TV and stuff, there's probably a certain amount of creative input that doesn't really they don't really let you have. So that stuff, I don't know. The genesis of it, it might just change a bit as we get closer and closer. So I'm not positive yet, but that's the hope. But we submitted the scripts. So I submitted sample scripts. So assuming they like that, then hopefully it'll be fine. But we just have to wait and see.
Tom, are you going to be in this show as well? So you're going to be the host, and he'll be somebody to be a co-host. You have two people.
I would be the host, and then I'd have a co-host.
Very cool. Very cool. That's awesome, man. So you, Tom, seem like you're in the sci-fi line. Our channel is based on science fiction and beyond. What are some of your favorite sci-fi properties? You mentioned Indiana Jones, more action fantasy as well. Well, now it's sci-fi.
I'm actually glad you asked that. I have two answers for you. First of all, on this tour, we saw more alien stuff than anything else. For some reason, that is the biggest hit in terms of valuation and interest is aliens. However, I love Prometheus. So I have one of the bases from Prometheus. I don't know if you can see it.
What?
Yeah.
No more canister base. And because I love that movie so much, it is by far and away my favorite sci-fi. And so I do have a piece from that.
Very cool. Very cool. So in the film, I've got some different characters, like actors and various people. I believe there's one aliens actor in there as well, right?
Yeah. Lance Henriksen, who played Bishop. Yeah. Cool. Well, and he was in. He plays the owner of
Weyland-Yutani.
Yeah.
You got the hat. They made a replica of his hat that has the little stresses and everything. Actually, he managed to score one of those. They're limited edition. Looks exactly like the hat he wore in that movie with the Weyland Industries on it.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Tom, I was going to ask you, being in the sci-fi realm.
I think it's you. Feeding back.
Turn down the volume a little bit. There it is. Much better. That thing maxed out. Max warp speed awesomeness. So being a part of the the film and the sci-fi universe and all that, well, you've got these films that become so iconic, all these properties, and now it's become these collectors are now wanting to own a piece of what you called it art, like pop culture art. What do you see the future of this collecting, which is being bigger and better? Or what kind of stuff you want to see in the future for this? And now it's being showcased with y'all's documentary and this television series y'all got developing. What kind of stuff would you like to kind of see it take to the next generation?
Well, it's interesting. I think that so much has changed in just 7 years. I've been doing this for 20. So much has just changed in 7. What's happening are these movies, whenever a movie is filmed, they're figuring it out. So now they're going to sell their props. My hope is that everybody, if they're interested, has the ability to buy a prop. You don't need $1 bazillion to buy a prop. You just got to get the right one from the right movie. And it could be, maybe it's a movie that came out 2 years ago and it's a coin from the movie or something like that. Hold on to that thing. Because if the movie's good, it might be worth a heck of a lot more money someday and you just bought it for cheap. I want to make it as bigger and bigger and people out about it, that nerds like me everyone can own a piece.
Very cool. Very cool. So when y'all get the television series, you're going to start, you got the scripts and you have already pitched it. When you have already pitched it, or you're going to pitch it soon, or?
The show, is that what you said?
Yeah.
The TV show.
It's already in the works. Yeah. We sorry, I was working in the background. I apologize.
We've got people here. If you want to turn this thing, check this out.
No, but I guess
that's Frank. We're manning our command center. We've got
Frank.
We're the video game correspondent there. He's coming on as our video game correspondent. So
I guess it's helpful though for your audience to see that it's nonstop with wheeling and dealing in order to make anything happen. It's that was the deal. They were just waiting on us. We are out to a very well known. Your audience would know who it is, but I can't publicly say who it is.
That's all good.
But a very well known comedic actor to be Tom's co-host, and then the scripts are done. So we're just waiting on this gentleman to sign on, and then the whole package goes back to the 4 companies that are interested in taking it on. So
I'm excited to hear about it and see what y'all going to be doing with that. So, Tom, you talk about collecting some pretty iconic props there, high end. What do you recommend people do? Like, if they've got these props, especially these very expensive ones like lightsabers and bullwhips and all that, how do you recommend them? Like display them, or is there ways that you have yours displayed in cases, or what kind of things you like recommend like them do with them? If they have lots of them, or.
Yeah, I mean, part of the documentary was I was going around from place to place saying the fun for me are the artist in me. Yeah, I like to buy that stuff, but the artist in me is how you display it. So, for instance, you asked, how do I display it? I don't know if you can see
there
that.
You go.
Indiana Jones's whip from part 2. Yeah. So what I do is I get a picture from the movie, and then I get a frame or whatever, especially this one because it's valuable, and that's how I display it.
Yeah, got a little metal
if you're looking at Star Wars, this is a piece of the Death Star from the 1970s original. And I don't know if you can see it.
I can see it perfectly.
Okay, good. This is a way to I believe this piece of art deserves a case like this, if that makes sense. And then, of course, it's displaying it like this, too, with all the, I don't know if you can see this, but, here's a bunch
of... Is that a ghost trap back there? A Ghostbuster trap?
That is a Ghostbuster trap.
Oh, nice. That kid.
Yeah.
So that's he got that during the movie. He got that during Mad Props when we were filming.
Very cool.
I did,
as well as the Holy Grail and that almanac right there too from Back to the Future.
Placing the bets.
Placing the bets, yeah.
Yeah. I got some good stuff. What other stuff you got in there, Tom?
You got the Mel Gibson screen gun from the 1987 hit Lethal Weapon. We got the Holy Grail from The Last Crusade. I loved Planet of the Apes when I was a kid, so this is an original aesthetics. Poltergeist. Every movie meant something to me, as for whatever reason. And more pieces from Star Wars. We got Pulp Fiction. We've got The Terminator Part 2.
Oh wow!
We got Braveheart.
That's the jacket when he gets lowered down and he goes the thumbs up into the lava. Yeah,
yeah.
Isn't that amazing? Oh, see, there's a photo reference right there.
We've got Braveheart. We've got the whole screen. This is one of my first ones. This is the Goonies. It was used by Mama Fratelli, and it was signed by the entire cast. So that's pretty cool because I love that type of stuff. Cool. Ivan Drago's boots. We got Forrest Gump.
Oh, nice.
We've got the glove from The Martian, and I got a piece here because I love the book and I love the movie. So that was part of it. But this is the glove he's using when he goes Iron Man. We've got Castaway down here.
Ooh.
If you can see it. Yeah. Ocean's 11. And some of this is Michael Jackson's hat. That's not a movie prop, but
what hat was that from?
Say that again?
Was that from one of the music videos, or?
Yeah, this is one of his hats when he went on the Victory Tour in 1984, the largest tour ever. And it was in the museum in LA, and I bought that. But this guy right over here, when I was a kid, and this is in the documentary, of course, I wanted to be
that Creep Show?
Say that again?
Is that what's a Creep Show? What is that from?
Well, I made it as a kid.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So part of the documentary is talking about how I got into this, like why. Okay. And when I was a kid, from about 4th grade to like 7th grade, I wanted to be a special effects artist for horror movies. I didn't want to be in the horror movies. I wanted to be creating the props. So that's what I did.
That's exactly what I wanted to be when I was a kid. And then I get in all the sci-fi hosting. Man, it's hilarious.
Wow. See, isn't that funny? It's like there's so many people out there like me. That's what I wanted to do with my living. I never got tired of it. I kind of grew out of it. But this is a way for me to get kind of back into that.
Right. So cool, man. That's quite a collection you've got there. Is that your office? That's your office?
It's in my office. Yep.
What do you do? You're like a banker or something like that, they said in the thing.
Yep, a banker. I was an attorney and then turned banker. And I still am a banker. But, it's funny. I have always, not on purpose by any means, but I kind of suppressed the art side of me. As, you get older and you're like, okay, I got to go to college. I got to get a job. I've got to, so on and so forth. That's why I became a lawyer and then a banker. But I'm telling you, collecting props and doing this stuff is a heck of a lot more fun.
Yeah, dude. It's awesome. Yeah. So Juan, you've got these films. How long have you been doing films and stuff?
By the way, also, I just realized that your audience should know that I'm not like a filthy bastard. Mm-hmm. I forgot to wipe my ashes off from Ash Wednesday just now.
Oh, it's all good.
I just realized.
I've got a big gash. Right? If you look under my hair, I've got this big Harry Potter gash, man.
Yeah, but that's a scar versus, why does he have dirt on his forehead? Sorry, what was your question?
So how long have you been doing filming? What made you get into the filming?
Oh, I mean, I've been in this business my entire life. I started as an actor in the theater when I was a little kid, and I went to I had a full ride for performance and in theatrical performance in New York, and then while I was there, I fell in love with behind the scenes stuff. When I acted in a bunch of student films at NYU and SVA, and I started falling in love with the behind the scenes and got asked to be a production assistant while I was in college on this little indie film that never came out. The rest is history. Yeah. And then I
went to NYU. You went to NYU?
No, I did get accepted to Tisch. Yeah. But in the end, I got offered the full ride from Tisch, but then I got offered from Fordham as well. So I went to Fordham at Lincoln Center because it was a Jesuit school, and I thought that might make my parents happy. So
whatever makes them happy, right?
Yeah.
So you've got this film, the movie, and a TV series coming out. What is it gonna be like? If y'all did streaming, what would y'all want to do? Like 10 episodes? Or like the seasons are shorter now. If y'all do that, how long would it be? Like an hour-long show, or?
Yeah, they're scripted for hour long, and that's basically exactly right. 10 episodes is what we've laid out as the overall structure for each season. Yeah, it's a tricky one too because it's the kind of show that you'd have to shoot. It's like you shoot like all the episodes at the same time.
Oh wow!
Because it's all revolves around people and props at the auction. So we kind of have to shoot multiple crews shooting different people for each episode within that auction itself, and then we have to go around to all their different places and stuff where they live. It's kind of, it makes sense when you see it. It's kind of complicated to explain, but we would shoot it more like a movie than we would shoot it as like a TV show necessarily. Yeah.
Very cool. So Tom, you've been collecting a few years. You've been doing the props. What are some things you're looking for? I know Prop Store's got a big auction coming up next. Anything you got your eye on that?
Okay, so I just got the electronic copy of it, and I haven't had a chance to peruse it yet, but I'm going to. I was traveling, and I hadn't had a chance. And then I expect the hardcover book, of course. So I don't know what's in there yet. But I'll tell you what, one of the ones, I get asked the question a lot, if there's one prop you could have, what would it be? And I actually got to hold it and see it at the prop store, and that was the Bible from Shawshank Redemption.
Ooh, we should watch that movie the other day, man, with Morgan Freeman.
Yep. Yeah, it's the Bible with the cutout of the hammer. There was only one made. And so that's the original. It just went way, way, way too high of a price. I mean, like, just out of my league.
Like $1 million or something?
No, but like I want to say 550,000.
Yeah, it was up there.
Han Solo jacket for Empire. I saw that on display, and that went for like 600-700 or something like that. It was expected at 500. I don't know what it actually went for, but we saw where were we at? Oh man, Comic-Con or somewhere like that. And it was Star Wars Celebration in 2019 for the 40th anniversary. And they had a lot of the artifacts from Lucasfilm down there. One of the coolest ones they have, when Lando comes out of the Falcon to rescue Luke, like he comes out and they rescue him. Well, the thing is, there's about a 2-3 second scene. I asked Brendan Allinger, what is this puppet of Lando Calrissian, super detailed? When they cut scene before he grabs him, when he comes out, that's a puppet. And then and that's Lando. So it's a little puppet coming out of the Falcon. I'm like, wow, it's so detailed even now. It's great, man.
Those are the coolest. I love that. If you can get anything from Star Wars, I don't have a lightsaber. I need to get a lightsaber, but I love those little miniature pieces because that's part of the movie. I've seen like in Top Gun and just some other movies where you'll get the dolls from those scenes.
Miniature ones.
To talk about a high-priced item, the Red Leader from the original Star Wars. In the documentary, you see my son, Rocco, and I watching this live auction. And that thing went for $1.9 million.
Wow. One of the original, like the animatronic ones?
Yeah, just the one. It's probably 3 feet long. It was the ones it was the Red Leader as they were going down to the Death Star.
Oh, wow. 1.9 million. Where is it in the museum? Who has it? What do they do with it?
That's part of the documentary. I don't think the prop store discloses any of that stuff, right? So
Right.
that's part of the documentary. Who are these people that buy them? Who are the big collectors out there? And that's what we went out to go see. Who is a person that would pay $1.9 million for that?
You've got Robert England in your film, Lance Hendrickson, I believe. What's his name?
Mickey Rourke.
Mickey Rourke, yeah, from Iron Man 2 is in there. You've got a lot of actors in there. In the documentary, I've yet to see it. Our writer wrote it. I wrote the article on it. I got to see it. But what are some of the stories? Like anything? Like I'm sure they showed some stories about. Do any of them collect as well? Or?
I don't
think so.
I don't think so either. Yeah,
but I
know Robert
did
stole the glove. He said that.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to say.
But he didn't even keep it.
No, he gave it away. But back then that wasn't a thing. Like I bet you they didn't even care. You're doing a low budget horror movie, and is that big of a deal? These things just used to be thrown away. Right. It's crazy. Now they're not anymore. I can guarantee you that.
TMP, the motion picture Star Trek. Somebody went out. Those spacesuits when Spock goes outside the ship to go in the V'ger? They said they saw the spacesuits, like the armatures and the control, all just sitting in the back of the dumpster on the lot. I'm like, wow. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not. That's what they said.
Yeah.
It's so sad, man. But Paramount, I believe back in, 2000 and something, early 2000s, I was talking to a guy, Richard Edlin. I don't know if you're familiar with that name.
Mm-hmm.
He went down there, and there was Christie's. He was telling me they went all down there, went through all the archives. They had this massive Star Trek auction. They had everything you could imagine. It was before the prop store. I don't know if it was a Christie's. Christie's auction did it. And I've with some buddies over the years who showed me some of their collections. And quite frankly, there's some crazy stuff in that. I think the Enterprise D went for like $500,000. You got like some of the greatest stuff there, historical, iconic props. There's a buddy of mine, he collects as well, and he said that he's looking forward to that prop store auction as well. And he hasn't got his book yet, but he wants to look as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what's going to be.
It's just fun to flip through that thing. You're not going to buy anything. It's fun to see.
Gorgeous, like a Bible of also flipping through all the iconic, their glossy photos, high res pictures, and all that.
Yep. And then they give you a range of valuations, which is kind of cool.
That's super cool. One of the things I saw in there I wanted to get was I didn't get a chance to bid on it, but it was the Men in Black neuralizer with the little gizmo and the cricket, the noisy cricket. I was surprised. This thing's only went for around 10 G's. The most hilarious thing I saw a few years back was this lady, I don't know if you remember, when they had the Willy Wonka chocolate bar and Veruca Salt's golden ticket. Well, this lady's like, she already had the bar, already had it in hand. And she was already bidding heavily on the ticket. And the auctioneer is like, I've got a golden ticket going once. And he's like, you sure you don't want this? You already got the bar. Got a golden ticket going twice. He's like, paste it. And then, so she didn't get the damn ticket. I'm like, man, you could have had that set.
Oh, man. That would have been awesome to have together. Was it from the original or the second one?
Willy Wonka from Willy Wonka.
That's awesome.
So you guys got this TV show, and it's going to be together. What channels are like? I know you can't talk about that, but what ones would you like to have it on? If you could choose your pick, Sci-Fi, Amazon.
I don't want to get into that because I don't want to like tempt fate or anything. You know what I mean?
But everybody's there, so whatever picks it, I'm excited to see it for sure. Man. I'm really excited to see it. So Tom, I got to ask a question. So you've been buying these props and stuff like that for a little bit now. What is the meaning of collecting these props, and what does it resonate with both of y'all from the film and just in y'all's general lives? Especially you, Tom.
Well, it's the fun of it. It's just super fun for me to do it, and I can scratch that itch of this part of me that likes to, that I believe is kind of an artist. So what I love to do is collect these things, show them off to my friends. I always let kids hold them and that sort of thing. And then I display them. And that whole process to me is just super fun. And I don't even care if they're not into movie props. Most of the ones I have, they've seen the movie. So everybody's kind of intrigued.
Right.
So I really just love this notion of, again, I'm a collector of a lot of things, but I really just love this notion of putting together a cool collection, displaying it, and then enjoying it. All these things, we have good memories, and I love to see everybody else's response as well. I'd love to see a nice smile from somebody because they see, the ball gag from Pulp Fiction, So.
What about you, Juan? What's your message for creating the film and everything?
I just think that what interested me the most was humanizing people. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes people who collect art and stuff are, can be looked down upon, especially in this case, because this is like a newer, the argument that this is a modern art, right? And it's starting to get the level of appreciation that more traditional fine art, you know what I mean, like Van Goghs and all that are have always had. Now that's what's happening with these pieces. They're all created by artists, but the beautiful thing about this is that it's not, there's so many movies that mean different things to everybody, and there's big and small props, so there's things that are attainable by every person imaginable, and there was nothing. There was no like oh gosh, sorry, I'm failing on my words, but there's a kindness and acceptance to the community of prop collectors that really surprised me. Not that I thought I was going to run into a bunch of jerks, but man, everybody was just so nice to everybody. And to me, that was really summed up by Alistair, one of the guys, just an everyday Joe, barely ekes by living, 10 pounds an hour. And he's like the emotional core of the film, I think, because like he doesn't really have money, but he knew there's this one drawing from a show that barely anybody outside of England even knows about, that was on auction, that he meant so much to him. And he, it just shows that, and he was treated like just as normal as anybody else. Like all the happiness and like cheers that you see in the movie, that's all genuine. Like everybody just loves each other because they're a very tight-knit community, and that was just amazing to see that the humanity that exists, and that commonality that exists, and that it's just the equality that exists. That to me was like the most beautiful thing, and I really was happy that we were able to show that human side of it, in a way that I think and I hope audiences are really going to appreciate.
That sounds awesome. Are y'all going to be doing any screenings here soon for the film, or anywhere?
Yeah, we're heading. Gotta go to LA here in a couple of weeks for a special screening in West LA, and then it starts some theatrical play in California, here in Oklahoma, and there's going to be a couple of screens in France and Italy.
Cannes?
What's that?
Is it Cannes?
Con? No. Yeah, right. I wish. No. Nothing like that.
Very cool. That's international. It's really good though.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking tiny stuff. It's just a very limited theatrical release, super, super small.
You said LA. That's in 2 or 3 weeks, and you're gonna do something after. I'm actually be in LA somewhere around that time in March.
Well, no, yeah, it's a one night event on the 29th actually of this month. So, and then it's playing in some. It's going to have like it's going to play for like a week or so in Modesto, California. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing, but it's really just about, how theatrical works nowadays, and for docs and stuff, it's a little trickier too, obviously. But it's really just about starting the process of getting the name of it out there and stuff like that. Ultimately, it's the streaming that's going to be that's where the real show is going to be. You know what I mean? So,
are you and both Tom going to be there? Any y'all going to do Q&A or anything like that?
Yeah, there's going to be a Q&A afterward, and so it'll be a whole thing, and then hopefully the actors will be there as well, and so yeah, it's like it's basically it's like a premiere without the pop and circumstance. You know what I mean? So yeah.
That's totally cool. When closing, Tom and Juan, what any websites or any places y'all like to maybe YouTube for the trailer or show people where they can find out a little bit about it, the film?
Yeah, I mean, Mad Props. All you gotta do is Google Mad Props. It's the Mad Props trailers on YouTube. It's all over. It's Mad Props docu on in social media. Yeah, I mean, honestly, you Google it, and if you do Mad Props documentary, just Google that, and it's really starting to get an online presence in a major way now. So it's been really cool. It's been overwhelming, the response so far as the reviews have started to come in and stuff. It's just been, I mean, not that I thought we made a bad movie, but when you see how much it seems to be really connecting with people, that's just like the ultimate gift right there for me. I don't know about you, Tom.
No, it's you, Tom.
Well, sorry, I was on the web. Remind me of the question, because I was actually looking it up right now to try to give you the exact thing. What was the question?
Just a question about the where to find out about it and a little bit of info about the film and so forth.
No, like where were you? But
where were you?
Yeah, I was saying.
I was saying what you said.
Yeah,
I went to Mad Props documentary and it popped right up.
Yeah. No, but I was saying, like, I didn't. The positive response that it's been getting so far is just has been overwhelming, and it just gives us me an emotional satisfaction that you hope for, but you never necessarily expect. And so it's been just such a pleasure to see all that. And I mean, and I wondered what you felt about that.
Yeah,
the response so far.
So I'm really proud of Juan, honestly, because I'm just the character, the collector. Somebody had to put all this stuff together, and it was 100% Juan. That's and right. And he's good at what he does. And so to see these people review the film and then get such high praise, I didn't know what to expect. I've never done this before, so I didn't know if they were like, "Hey, this is Looney Tunes," and I hate the host. Instead, it was a lot of nice comments about Juan's filming and how he put the whole thing together. And it's a feel-good documentary. It is. It's a lighthearted, feel-good documentary and super entertaining.
Well, and you're only as good as your subject. And, Tom is an infectious person, and it's a really cool, fun world that I'm glad we got to show off, because they're such great people. The collectors and stuff, they're such great people. It's been awesome. So, yeah.
That's totally awesome, man. I really look forward. I want to see is there a link or somewhere I would like to view the film myself. I'll do a little bit more research into it,
man. Yeah, no, there is. Yeah, but I'm not going to say anything on here because
no, I don't
yeah, we'll take care of you. We'll take care of you, Owen.
Thank you so much. Well, Tom and Juan, I want to thank y'all so much for joining in on the broadcast. This will be aired this Thursday, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, episode 67 on Subspace Radio Network, iHeartRadio. And it will be aired again on Friday and I believe one other day, 5 to 6 p.m. West Coast time. Well, gentlemen, I would like to thank y'all so much for joining in on the broadcast here on Sci Fiction.
Dude. Yeah. Oh, and thanks for having us, man. Appreciate it. Love your show.
For real. Yeah. Thank you. This has been a blast. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Well, y'all take care. And I look forward to the television series and all the good stuff beyond. Have a beautiful time at y'all screening as well in LA.
All right. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks, Owen.
Thanks, man.